Yolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another Let's Play. And today I have to do a little Dauntless hunt, and that's what I want to take you with me. And finally I have the building on a level where I can go to the 50s levels and fight the hostiles there. You know that these hostiles have this hypothermic decay. And the hypothermic decay here is at 50%, and that you can raise only by upgrading the building. And I finally have the building on level 53, but the important part was level 51. So let's quickly go there. Yeah, from level 51 you have the hypothermic stabilizer at 50%, so the hypothermic stuff does not do any damage to my ship. The issue is with the Dauntless, of course, using that one, it's only a tier 2 Dauntless, so it will not be too effective, but at least it's a bit funny to use the seek and destroy stuff here, and I got a lot at the moment, so I can let the Dauntless run a little bit. I can do higher hostiles. We have here hostiles in the 50s up to level 59. If I used my cube, especially because those hostiles also have additional abilities like the increased weapon damage, the critical damage floor, isolytic damage, and critical damage. And so obviously my cube will do much more. But with the Dauntless, it's just fun that you can use it. And until I used it in the first search I did, the Dauntless was working flawlessly. I must give Scopely that. They mess up a lot of things, but the Dauntless outside of search was working flawlessly. And in the last search I did, after the mid-month patch where they said they repaired the issues with the Dauntless in the search, there also the Dauntless worked until it was destroyed by two high hostiles coming in, two high-level hostiles. That obviously happens. The ship is not the strongest one, but it does have a fighting bonus with the activated seek and destroy. So it did work well in my last search. Didn't work well in the first, then they repaired it. So that is something where for once they did a lot of things right. Except that little search thing. If that wasn't there, I would have said they did it perfectly with the Dauntless. But even if my game crashed, what happens a lot of times, as you know, the Dauntless kept flying. With the Kirshara, you always have it that when the game crashes, all your programmed hostiles are not programmed anymore. You have to do everything from scratch once more until the next crash. And the Dauntless kept flying. So this ability is really working. And remember the time, if you're in this game longer, when the Kirshara was introduced to the game, that was a real catastrophe. And they needed more than a year to get this at least working occasionally properly. And the Dauntless is now, after a few weeks of introduction, is working everywhere where I'm using it. And that means something. So Scopely for once did something at least very right. Not perfect from the beginning, but now it's really working everywhere where I'm using it. And so this is a quality of life improvement. And so today when I'm going for loot, yeah, we can check now if I'm proven wrong after the restart of the game. And if the Dauntless is still flying. I just wanted to show you the loot I'm going for, but now we can just check together if it's still working. And sometimes it's nice that the game does me the favor to just prove the points that I'm making. And so let's get back to the Dauntless. And there, it's still flying and fighting. If it was a Kirshara, nothing would happen now, but you see, something happens. But I was talking about rewards. I'm going for this common reclaimed loot and the uncommon reclaimed loot here, because I can exchange both now in my refinery with the building on level 51 and now on 53. And so I want to have both kinds of loot, and not only the common one I get from the 40s levels hostiles. Of course, it's not that much loot here in the 51s, but I think it's just fun to send the Dauntless. You see with the crew I have on it, it's still alive. It's flying for a few minutes already. You see there's another 7 minutes to go. Don't know if it will survive the whole time it can fly, but it's working well. And if we look at my crew that I'm using Strange New Worlds Pike with Strange New Worlds Samkirk and with Strange New Worlds Georgiou, and that's working quite well. Is a little bit less synergy with both of them. She has 5% and Samkirk only 2% in this case, but they are still working very well. I didn't use a specific officer like Ortegas or Uhura or so, because the Dauntless is not targeting combat triangle hostiles, and as you can see, it just targets everything it can. And so I didn't use one of the specific officers, because that would work well against the combat triangle ships, but not against the others. And so I decided to go with Georgiou. And as you can see, my ship might not survive the full seek and destroy time of 11 minutes or something, what it is now on tier 2, but it can go with a number of hostiles here, and that's quite nice. And with the amount I get every day of these seek and destroy tokens, and not doing it every day because there's so much to do in this game that you never can manage to do everything every day, unless you are a pensioner already, and I know a number of pensioners is playing that game, then you may have the time to do that if you're into it. But as you know, I don't. I obviously need to work and cannot complete everything. So just sending out the Dauntless, for example, today I could do this for about 40 minutes or something, or 45 minutes. If the ship survives the whole time, then that would save me a lot of time of grinding myself, even if it is a little bit less loot. But with time, the Dauntless will grow. I'm 2 components away from tier 3, then it will be stronger again, and then I can at some point go to higher level hostiles once again, and so on and so on. And that is quite helpful. And when it's much stronger, I can even send it to other hostiles as well. I'm really looking forward to sending it to wave defense, not wave defense, for mirror hostiles, for example. If that thing could work for half an hour in Mirror Romulus, that would be a dream. But that's the thing why I said, if you are an Ops 45 player, it might have been worth it for you, as I said on my main channel, to buy that thing now and to have it grow with you. For me as an Ops 68 player, obviously it's a bit harder to get that ship on a level where I really have big use for it. But if you're growing your ops with the ship in parallel, so to speak, then I can really imagine that it is really helpful for you. And everybody else, of course, can wait the 3 months to get it. But it's a nice toy. And now it's even working in the search. So it definitely annoys other players in the search, I can tell you that much. That's why I only did 1 test, and with the size mine has at the moment, it will only survive 1 search wave, and then you would need more of those, what is that, fault keys or fault shards, and to bring it back, because it will not survive the search. But you can concentrate on just 1 ship by manually hunting hostiles and just send out the Dauntless. But the others will be annoyed because if you're flying in front of other players, taking away their hostiles in their corner, you really have to concentrate on a specific space there, and Dauntlesses would make that much worse. But nevertheless, it's a possibility. And by the way, the fault charts, the German word for fault is the same word as we use for bug, for error, for mistake. So a lot of my viewers on the German channels made a lot of fun of these fault charts that Scopely really had the audacity to bring something with that name into the game with all the bugs they still have. And so in the German translation, that's a really funny choice of name for these charts here. Yeah, it's really funny. Because they are naming the things like they are at the moment. Yeah, but that's sometimes the fun of the German language, that we have the same word for a lot of different things, where in English you would have different words, but in German it's the same word for both, and there we have in these cases a good chance for wordplay and for willingly misunderstanding things, as in this case with the Fehlerdiagramme. It's like Scopely is sending us the charts for their bugs into the game. But in that case, I would expect to collect more than 200 a day with all the bugs that are in this game and all the mistakes Scopely makes. Yeah, but nevertheless, you see how nice that is. I can talk without concentrating on the fight. You will remember the wave defenses from yesterday, where because of talking I in between messed up because I'm not multitasking. Yeah, stereotype again, typical male, not multitasking. And so here my ship does all the work and I can talk with you. That's another upside of the Dauntless here, that we see it fighting, but I don't have to do anything. Of course, I'm playing a game to do something, but grinding is not my favorite thing of the game, of course. And so if there's something that can reduce my manual grinding, and I have to grind a lot at the moment because of all the upgrade stuff, that's why I would love the Dauntless in Mirror Romulus, go in there for half an hour for those hostiles. That would be my dream. But it's only, as I said, close to tier 3 because I didn't buy the upgrade material, obviously. And oh, there you see. It did survive the full time here in the level 50 with the level 51 hostiles. We collected 1.5 million of the common reclaimed loot and 136k of the uncommon loot. And so I quickly sent it back for repairs. I've got more of those fault charts. Not the fault charts, the seek and destroy tokens. And then we can let it fight once again. But this time we can test how long it survives against the level 53 hostiles. It survived the full fighting time against the 51s, so it's time for the 53 test. As you see, I've never been to that system. The higher level systems I've been to with my cube for some events we had when they introduced this, where you had to hunt hostiles, but you got more points the higher the level was. At that time was quite annoying because I didn't have the building at that point. So this hypothermic damage always did damage to my cube, and so I couldn't last there that long. But nevertheless, I had to get the points, and it was really annoying to do that with level 49 hostiles. So let's start the Dauntless again and have a look at how it does with level 53 hostiles on tier 2. Of course, my research plays a role here, my artifacts play a role here, and everything. I don't think I have VTs on, no, FTs in English. Oh yeah, I do have FTs on it. Special one for interceptors and just a loot one. And that plays a role as well. Talking about research, by the way, I'm Ops 68, as you know, and I'm not speeding towards Ops 69. You know that I have to get a lot of speed ups via the mirror universe. If you look at my Latinum, it is slowly growing again at 6.1 million, but that would be only 4 days of speed ups. So I'm not getting very far with that. So I'm grinding speed ups in mirror universe whenever I can, and use that for my research. Because what I'm doing now, after getting to Ops 68 and getting Shipyard 68, which was a very important milestone for me, as you could see on my main channel, with the 3 faction mining ships, now is the time for me to concentrate on my research again before going to Ops 69, for which I have to build a lot of buildings, by the way, anyway. But first I'm doing the research as much as I can before it's R&D locked again. There's a lot of research in combat research that is locked by the R&D department. But up to that point, I want to have my research finished before I then concentrate on the buildings to go to Ops 69. And it will be the same before going to Ops 70, although the building part will be much harder. But even before I concentrate on that, I will once again concentrate on my research. That is something I already said in my video, Don't Repeat My Old Mistakes. But now with everything I learned about the new G7 and the Ops level 71 and higher from the players in my alliance that are Ops 71 already, that what I said in my video about everyone starting in the game is also very valid, obviously, for G7 players now, because if you do not have your research in place before you go to Ops 71, you will get in trouble. Concentrating on ships only will not get you very far. And we have some very bad examples here on my server in other alliances. I don't take it bad for anyone for spending a lot of money in this game, if you do it with brains. And we have some of those once again on my server with too much money and too little brain, and you really can see that. They are not getting anywhere in the Veal or in G7 space in general, because they spent money on ops, on ships, and totally neglected their research. That's why they are the weakest 71 players you can see, and the ones that are not getting anywhere. So I really can advise from the experience of my alliance mates which have gone to level 71. Have your research in order before you go there. So that's what I'm still doing, as I said in my early video here and on my main channel, not here, but on my main channel. Don't repeat my mistakes that I did the first time playing with going ops and neglecting research and stuff like that. I still will take care of my research before I go to 69 and then later to 70. Because before I ever go to 71, which is still ages in the future, I want to have that in order. I got a little astray from the topic at hand, but that's the nice thing in the Let's Plays, that I can fit in some stuff that's not in the video title, but that just comes to my mind, especially with regard to the game and something that I think is really important. And while my Dauntless is still flying, I don't think that this time it will survive the whole time. But it's fighting quite well still. And I already got more of the uncommon reclaimed loot. So there's a point where you might want to go to a system with it where it cannot survive as long as in the other one. But the more important loot, the uncommon one, I already have more and it's not destroyed yet. So for me, it will make more sense at the moment to go to the level 53 system than to the level 51 system. Because especially of the common loot, I got loads because of the events we had where I had to fight a lot in the level 49 system or in the 47 system, where I had to send a brand new Dauntless because you had to do it with a Dauntless to get proper points. And so I sent the Dauntless there, and so that's why I have a lot of this common loot. And now I need more uncommon loot, and at the moment it looks like the 53 system it is, as long as it's still on tier 2. So I've got more than 200k now. On the last trip I got 160k, so it's already worth it, even if it will be destroyed earlier. And that's the learning curve you always have to do. Yeah, it's not always about how long does it survive, how long can it work on its own. Also have a look at the loot. What is worth more for you? Obviously I will get less of the common loot here. It's only 860k while I'm already at 240k. But as I said, the more important loot for me now is the uncommon one. And so this is a good choice for me to do for my next trips into that space, and to use the Dauntless against the 53s until I got it a tier higher and a bit stronger. Then I will test the next level again. It will take some time until I can get to the 60s, not only because of the strength of the Dauntless, but also because I need to upgrade the building much more before I can survive the hypothermic decay in the 60s levels, because that's much higher than here in the 50s. And so that's not a thing I will do very soon. But the higher you get your Dauntless later, when you got it via the game, for example, the more of the building materials you can get, the more of the times you hunt in these areas, the more loot you get, the quicker you can upgrade the building. And so with a little patience, everybody will get there. Obviously, I also didn't buy upgrading material for the building. I just do it via the game, and it's working fine. I'm level 53 now. Couldn't score with that in the original arc, of course, but you cannot score every time when you and every event. There are events that I completely skipped. I didn't manage the last part of the Ascendancy, so I lost a little bit of rewards there. But there is a limit on how much material you can spend, and that's it. So this time my ship got destroyed before the Seek and Destroy ran out, but still got me a lot of nice loot, and that's the loot that you need here. I did the exchanges this morning already, and some exchanges will be there later. But you see that I've got a lot of the uncommon stuff now, and even more of the common stuff, and that will help me out. You see here that I'm not exchanging everything because I'm concentrating a bit more on the building at the moment. I really want to have that building on 61, so that is my priority, especially here in the exchanges in the refinery, because I can do building parts for common schematics and for common reclaimed loot and for uncommon reclaimed loot. So I can exchange twice a day for building parts, and that's what I'm concentrating on at the moment. Plus, of course, the Dauntless Strongbox that's coming in, that's quite nice as well. And that's what I'm doing. So research is a bit slower, and prototype tech upgrade is a bit slower, but still my focus is on the building this at the moment, and that's what I'm going for. And if you have any people in your alliance, for example, or on your server that have not heard about this channel yet, because I know it's difficult with new channels. Even someone, I did a German search in action video already. As I said in another video, I will do an English one, of course, another time when we are doing them again, but I need Ops 71 players to start them. And he didn't. He was waiting for that video to be published, and then he asked me, "Oh, when's the video coming out?" I said, "Last Monday." And he said, "What, on the German or the English channel?" I said, "No, on the German Let's Play channel." "Huh? You have a Let's Play channel?" And the German one is a bit older than the English one. So, but even in my own alliance, not everybody knows that yet, obviously. And so spreading the word is always a bit hard. So I'm very grateful for everyone watching who likes my videos, to tell you people in your alliance, on your server, on your Discords maybe, that this channel exists now as well. And of course, if you have a topic where you say that's one of your tasks, why don't you do a video with that task for once, then just let me know in the comments below the video and on Discord. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.